Please, the weather report.
Shoppers, can I get a fucking oh yeah? Thank you.
Hey, what up, everybody? Welcome back to Frolfcenter. Today is the first day of October. Dude, we're almost done with 2020. Thank
Episode
goodness.
20.
But hey, episode 20. I'm joined as always with Adam, Cody, the typical boys. What's up, man? What y'all drinking on tonight?
I went straight Basil Hayden's tonight.
Oh yeah.
I'm doing it a little different tonight. I got the Austin special.
Hey, Dilly.
There he is.
Let's
Cheers.
go.
Hey
That's
guys,
awesome.
I'm Cody. Just down here in Gulf Shores cleaning up the hurricane. FEMA just came in and starting to help clear some stuff. So we're getting there. We maybe another couple weeks, this place will be looking pretty good.
Nice.
Nice.
And do we have Scully for the weather again?
No, we actually have Jessica with the weather.
What's up, Frolfcenter? It's Jessica Metz, PDGA number 78608. This week's weather report, I have taken y'all to the lovely Jonesboro, Arkansas. I have come out here for the Disc Golf Pro Tour Series finale event of the Jonesboro Open. So far, everything has been such an awesome experience. The weather has been fantastic. We do have a really crazy wind, but other than that, round one is complete and over with, and only have round two and round three to look forward to. So y'all just keep cheering me on, as well as the other Georgia players that have come up to this tournament. We are hoping to make everybody proud and hope to see all of y'all soon. Bye, guys.
Awesome.
All right. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. So let's get into the show tonight. You all right?
Yeah.
I got to introduce you guys to one of my favorite people to ever play disc golf with. He was a former ATLian. He's now he's officially my favorite disc golfer in Maryland. This is Andrew Fish.
Hey, what's good, everybody?
Hey.
What's up, man?
What's up, buddy?
How you doing,
Let's
man?
get you on the big screen here.
Oh dear.
Oh, yeah.
I needed to, do a face wash or something today. If you're gonna big screen me.
What are you drinking on tonight, eh?
I saw what you guys were up to and figured a little whiskey on rocks would be the right thing.
Absolutely. My
You
favorite.
can never do wrong with that.
What's your whiskey tonight?
It's an Old Forester. Nothing special about it.
Nothing
Okay.
bad about it either.
Yeah, all right.
No. I decided earlier this year that y'all know mint juleps, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty classy drink.
Oh, absolutely.
My drink is a cilantro julep. I didn't have
Okay.
time to make it, but it seems like the right amount of class and trash.
It's like if you're having a Cinco
All
de
right.
Mayo Kentucky Derby party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm into it. All right, so we're gonna introduce the folks to you if they don't know you already. Can you tell us about your very first disc golf experience? What were the discs? What was the course? Who was there with you?
Yeah. My first disc golf experience. I think I may have pitched around with my dad, just hitting trees and stuff with whatever bank giveaway frisbee we had when I was a kid. The first time I remember going to a course was H.J. Carroll Park in Chimacum, Washington. Nobody knows where Chimacum, Washington is, except for me.
Yeah, no.
It was a little 9-hole course, and I was living out there while I was working for the Forest Service, and I was biking 15 miles to go to and from the grocery store on my day off, and I saw this disc golf course, and I'm like, okay, I'll try this out. So I had a DX Shark that I found in the bunkhouse of the Forest Service compound, and started throwing that around. Found a Starfire out there, and I was just throwing these things. I beat this DX Shark to hell, so I could basically throw it the same way I did an Ultra Star, and turn it into a hyzer flip machine. I aced with it on my fourth round ever, 180 turnover shot. Nothing special to it now, but at the time it was I need to write home about this. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's like voodoo. at that
Dude,
point.
that is insane. Your fourth round ever an ace?
Yeah.
All right.
That had me hooked too.
But anyway, That was it. It's a fine little course, and I haven't seen it since then. Really,
Oh,
not
really?
since 2012.
Wow.
All right, so I want to ask
2012.
the
This
same
was
question.
post Ultimate.
Yeah, that was post Ultimate.
Yeah, so
and
what's the
then,
same question for Ultimate? How did you get started with Ultimate?
I think it was probably my Boy Scout troop. I had been throwing a frisbee around with a whole bunch of my family, since I was tiny, and then we were just like playing a big troop-wide game on the beach, and I liked running. I liked, reading the disc and out jumping people for it, and that snowballed into starting a club at my high school, and then playing in college and everything else.
Oh yeah.
Nice. So like you said, you came from an ultimate background and now you're a very, very good disc golfer. With Brody Smith coming into the scene and us seeing a huge influx of new disc golfers, probably a lot of them coming from the ultimate area, is there like one piece of advice or one thing you would really like to tell those players to focus on to get to the level that you're at?
Yeah, I have given this advice. Like, I think my coaching tree is probably 100 people deep right now,
Nice.
Oh yeah.
of ultimate players. And I think the biggest difference is that ultimate discs really like spin, but
Okay.
don't care for speed that much. Golf discs are kind of the opposite. You need to be able to throw them fairly hard. The other thing is that flat for an ultimate disc is like what you perceive it as it's flying to your receiver. Flat with a golf disc is what it's doing out of your hand. So relearning what your angle is, and then what kind of spin and pace you're putting on the disc.
So what would be is there like a really hard habit to break coming from an ultimate background besides, putting the spin on it? Because obviously you don't want to put that much spin on it, but is there anything else that's really hard to break?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things. I think that nose angle is a big one. I've been playing for 8 years at a pretty high level, and I still pop up forehand sometimes, just sky the hell out of them. So like learning to get your nose angle flat as well, because golf discs glide on their own. You don't need to like throw it high the way you do an Ultra Star to access that glide potential.
Gotcha.
I think that just adjusting to like the pacing of the game, where you're like a pitcher or a kicker, initiating all of the motion. So there's a lot of like still time when you have time to think. And in Ultimate, that's not the case. It's a very reactive game. It's like basketball or soccer, where like you allow all of your training to come into play, and there's no time to really get nervous during a point.
Right on.
Makes sense.
That was way beyond my head, dude. That was like it couldn't have been a more of a perfect answer. Like I'm still like processing it, and taking it all in.
Like I said, I feel like I've given this answer to several different people in the last year or so. Like there's a lot of ultimate players who are playing recreationally just because it's something to do that is disc related. There's also a fair number that are getting pretty good at it. For example, I got to play with Christian Foster, Jack Hatchett, and Jay Clark, all of whom are national and/or world champions.
Oh, wow.
In Ultimate, and I played with all of them at MVP Open on a feature card that UltiWorld Disc Golf put together.
Go check that out, guys.
They should be releasing that next week.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah.
So a bunch of ultimate players on the whole card, huh?
Yeah. It was
pretty
kind of a novelty that somebody on Twitter suggested to UltiWorld, and then they talked Pro Tour into making it happen.
That's awesome, dude.
I don't want to give away any spoilers, but did you win the card?
Yeah, I won the card. I'll throw these guys under the bus. I've got a term that I would really like to catch on called space jamming, in which like you steal all of their powers. You become the Monstar. And it's like when you absolutely decimate your card.
Yeah.
So yes, I space jammed my card.
Okay.
Dude, that's I like that term. I love that terminology. Actually, I'm going to start using that.
Yes, please do it.
That's gonna
So,
be my
Fish, we started playing pro together in the Atlanta area, about the same time, 2013, 2012. You got really good, really fast, a lot faster than I did.
What was your sports background?
I was baseball.
Right. And I think that's reflected in your forehand. Like, you've got a friggin' cannon.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I'm not downgrading my gameplay. I am definitely a solid golfer in that. But what does it take? What does it take to move from 990 to? I don't think there's really a gap. Like I think there's like it's either not you're 995 or you're 1020. I think like the 990 to 1010 is just like they're all intermingle.
Yeah. I think there's a couple different ways to approach this. I think that there's the way of the people who kind of do like immersion therapy on themselves and go play really hard courses in really hard tournaments that are like pro tour level. And I think that's what you're seeing out of guys like Tristan Tanner, Luke Sampson, Ezra Adderhold, Brody Smith. And the thing that they are doing at an elite level is throwing really, really far.
Alden Harris.
Yes, there you go. And I think I did kind of the opposite. I think that I created a like MP40 game for myself, where like everything was about consistency. And I didn't really care about throwing far. I cared about hitting my lines perfectly every time. I was playing at Perkerson like every day.
Yeah, like that. That was one of my biggest regrets in disc golf was learning how to throw far first instead of like learning my control. Like when I first saw a disc fly 400 feet, I was like, I've got to do that. I'm going to push 450 first, and then like I never worried about anything else. And now it's full circle. I focus on my upshots and my putts more than I worry about my drives nowadays.
Yeah. I don't think that either method is wrong. I think that what I did worked really well for me because I was coming from a background where I'd already thrown hundreds of thousands of times.
Absolutely.
Correct.
So like it was very intuitive to just, tweak my angles, tweak my power, and like lean into the consistency. Like I didn't learn to throw a power grip until 2014 when I was 1,000 rated already.
Right.
Wow. I probably max out, like if you gave me a truly open field, I probably max out at, I don't know, 480 to 500, maybe. But I feel like I can throw.
What disc would that be for you?
A beat up force on an Anheuser probably.
Yeah.
But I think that I've got comfortable golf distance where I can like land it within 20, 30 feet at 425. Nice. And that's kind of all you need in order to score on most courses. Like there's some holes I can't access, but also I feel like I'm going to hit my line reliably all the time.
Is there holes you walk up to that regardless of the line, maybe like one every couple tournaments, regardless of the line you hit, you're just not going to get birdie? Or do you ever find yourself in that situation? Yeah.
And I think that this is something that I've been trying to come to terms with a little bit. I think that for a long time I was counting myself out. I was like saying there's no point in me, like I'm not going to get there, so I'm just going to throw a fairway driver and then a zone chip and then drop it in. Okay. But now I've realized that like I'm losing strokes to the field. I'm losing strokes to players that are like if I might are demonstrably worse than me, but have that depth, that skill of being able to go really far. Yeah. And like, if I want to keep up, if I want to continue to develop my game, it seems like distance is the thing that I need to add right now. Distance and a more reliable and utilitarian forehand. Mm-hmm. So yes, I would say something like Maple Hill hole 10. The shot that I threw in round 2 it's on the Jomez footage. I matched the angle of the hillside. I got the perfect little flip up with a force, and I got to 45 feet. That's the best case scenario for me on that. Hole 18 at Maple Hill, I'm not really trying to birdie it, and unless there was like a scenario that if I was down by 2 with 1 hole to go in the tournament, I was going to go for it. But otherwise,
That's the one up to the castle, right?
10 is up to the castle. 18
10 is
and
up to the
20
one
is
to
to
the
the
castle,
island
right.
green. Back at the sapphire.
Yeah, those require fucking elite level distance drivers shots.
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
you getting enough strokes back in the woods? I mean,
Say
obviously
again?
you're competitive. I mean, are you getting enough strokes back in the woods, you think? Or do you think are there more strokes for you to find in the woods, or is it distance?
The problem is, like, you have to be perfect through the woods in order to be able to say, okay, I'm going to take a par on this hole.
Like, what are you practicing more now? Like,
And how often do you practice?
Questions.
Sorry.
Someone add in?
We're excited to have you.
Put them in the hat.
We're so excited.
Yeah, no, that's my question. How often do you practice nowadays? And what do you practice?
I've undergone an evolution in this in the last couple of years. For a while, I was playing holes, and I was throwing shot after shot after shot. But like, courses are much busier this year. So I've been doing much more field work and trying to be very disciplined about what I'm trying to do during it. Like, I'm not just kind of ripping shots and seeing where they go. I'm trying to think about, like, optimizing my motions, like hitting the same anhyzer angle and like playing for like a glide and then the flex back to finish at a certain spot or on a certain line. It's been a lot of field work, and then throwing a lot of like forehand up shots in the like 250, 300 range, and then like trying to rip the shit out of distance drivers.
Yeah.
Like, it's something that I'm not always comfortable with, and I need to not have lapses in that during tournaments. And then I putt probably 30 to 45 minutes a day, just about every day.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Is that?
All
Do you
right.
think that's what everybody should be doing? Do you think an hour is too long? Maybe 2 times a day at 20 minutes.
There's like a curve of usefulness. So if I putt a little bit, I'm going to get a little bit of benefit out of it. If I putt some more, I'm going to get a lot of benefit. And then the more you go, it's like your marginal utility of putting decreases. Like, eventually you kind of get sloppy, or you start thinking about like, oh, I just want to rein in 60 footers, or you get in your own head about how many you're making or missing. And practice putting where you're just putting at the basket, that's kind of not realistic to the way it is in a tournament.
Absolutely.
Practice putting is about like, getting your mechanics right, getting your mental state right. But during a tournament, it might be 30 minutes between the time you have to putt. If you putt, and then you wait, and then you park a hole, and then it's important to like be able to like just step up to anything at any time and be able to putt it.
But how do you
what I'm
practice
doing
that?
works for me right now. What I'm doing is kind of tactics designed to enhance what I already know and advance what I don't. But I've also been doing this for 8 years, just about every day.
Yeah.
I'm really good at it.
Wow.
That doesn't mean that it works for a beginner the same way. Like, they'd see me throwing in the field and every throw would look the same, and I'd be angry about, missing by a fraction of a degree or something.
Yeah.
Not getting the skip or something. Yeah. It's heavy. You seem like an analytical guy too. It seems like you're kind of thinking like, did you do this in Ultimate? Did you kind of study yourself as an Ultimate player as well?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm an engineer. I went to Georgia Tech, and you cannot imagine how dreadful it is to play on a team of all engineers who are always breaking everything down and like can't just go out there and throw the darn thing.
I worked at Georgia Tech for 13 years, and I know the folks who go to Georgia Tech a little bit, and so I completely understand.
It would be really nice sometimes if I could just turn off my brain and throw. At the same time, like, I remember almost every disc golf hole I've ever played. Not like all the shots I've thrown on it, but like if you ask me what Will's 13 looks like, I can tell you, and I can tell you what I'd probably throw on it right now.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
What are you throwing?
All right.
Comet?
I think that's a putter.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Straight
that's
at it.
putter.
I lost
Nice.
one.
Okay.
I lost the putter on that, and I never got a call back. I miss it.
Oh, it's
that's
Will's
a
Park,
pretty
dude.
fucking thing of them to do to you. Yeah. I gotta ask. So the disc golf game is exploding right now. It's getting very, very big. Are we ready for it? Are some of these growing pains going to be a lot for us to handle? Is there a bottleneck coming that we haven't thought of yet?
We're already bottlenecking if tournaments sell out in 3 minutes, right?
I mean, that's part of it. But I mean, like, I see like Twitter is a great place to see the stress of disc golf, and this is a very stressful week on Twitter for disc golf, and it's getting more frequent. Like, is there something that we're missing? I mean, are we headed for disaster at some point here with this growth?
Yeah. This is another thing that I've been trying to think about, like the sociology of disc golf. So
Yeah.
let's take any activity. Let's say that you and your friends want to go see a movie. It's really easy to get to like pick what movie you want to see. It's not too hard to get, you and your best friend to go see the same movie. As soon as you expand that out to 4 or 5, somebody doesn't want to see that one.
Yep.
If you get to 10, like all of a sudden you're having to caucus amongst yourselves to try to vote it out. The bigger any activity, any movement gets, the more you're trying to like find a middle ground that kind of makes everybody happy. And then there's like little cells that aren't ever going to be happy with the direction that things are going.
Yeah.
So for a while, it was about like grow the sport, and it was growth for growth's sake. And what that's led to is, more manufacturers, more touring pros, more video outfits, more courses. All of those things are like positive on the surface, but I've been pushing back, in my own little special corner of the internet for years, saying that smart growth is good growth. Like, we need to be thinking about the choices that we make and how they're going to play out down the line. So,
Yeah.
like, you install a course.
I think people mistake that for gatekeeping sometimes. I'm sorry. I meant people mistake that for gatekeeping sometimes. We get accused of gatekeeping a little bit, right?
Yeah. It's kind of a fine line between like not letting new ideas or new people or new companies in.
Yeah.
With like letting people who have the experience in things like course design or tournament planning or whatever else, with letting them share their experience in a way that benefits the community. This week has been, like, as you're saying, very stressful on social media. And it's kind of brought out the worst elements of well-intentioned people.
Sure. I mean, drama's a hell of a drug.
It is, like, yeah, it is. So I think that we are growing as a sport. Things like tournament selling out, that's great. It means that, people are enjoying the competition, that the courses are getting played, that, TDs can get paid. They're not worried about whether they're gonna, have to front $700 for discs and then sit on $300 worth of them.
Absolutely.
But it
I mean, just in the 8 years we've been playing, I mean, it is blown up. I mean, we were 5'6" and 5'8" when we signed up, and now they're already at 158.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about, like, us being on the ground floor now. Like,
no
we're
kidding.
the old heads.
Yeah.
I felt like such a rookie, like showing my PDGA number when I signed up. You remember like showing up and everybody's in like the low 20s, and you're just like, okay, I'm the new guy here.
Yeah, I mean, it's only now am I tying for a round and getting a spot on the next card up instead of getting bumped down.
Right. Exactly.
And that's still just a fraction of the people who play disc golf. I mean, those are the people who are just paying $50 a month.
Right, absolutely.
For a year, you to play disc golf. Yeah.
So like, I guess to kind of put a bow on that last question and answer,
Yeah. Sorry.
growing for growth's sake, like, it doesn't necessarily benefit everybody. So I think it's really important that everyone like have the humility and have the like willingness to take a step back, listen to the perspectives of people who are like coming in and can share their experience from other places, as well as the people who have been around for a long time and like can recognize what the trends have been and project what the direction we would end up going are.
Yeah.
Do you?
You know, that
I
I
was
think
gonna.
I think there's an ideal in which, you know, it's not just the pros that make bank on tournaments, but tournament directors who do a good job and run a good quality event can do that for a living. Media companies aren't like Jomez is set up for life probably,
They're good.
but
Yeah.
but I know that like Gatekeeper Media that has fewer resources, fewer gigs, but still puts out a pretty decent product.
Yeah.
Those guys are scrapping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'd like to see, you know, I'd like to see an NBA where the popcorn vendors and ushers get paid a living wage, and you know the players and the owners are willing to share what their portion of the bonuses and profits are.
Yeah.
Sure. So, do you think growth for growth's sake is going to disproportionately fund who the manufacturers, the PDGA, like who benefits from growth for growth's sake, and who benefits from more strategic, smarter growth?
Growth for growth's sake, I think, like, I think it benefits the people who are already there and already have a leadership stake.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, everybody knows who Discraft, Innova, Discmania, Prodigy, everybody knows who they are. So growth benefits them. But it doesn't necessarily benefit the little guy coming in. They're like going to get bought out by something.
Yeah.
Like capitalism default ends up funneling kind of everything towards the top, the people who already have a vested interest and already have capital in it.
Nice.
Gotcha. Okay. That's
So I ran here and there disc golf for a while. We filmed a couple tournaments. You can go check out our YouTube channel, but it's like 3 years old now.
A couple of them.
And you've been on coverage a lot, and I'm sure you watch coverage just like we do. Is there something we haven't seen yet that needs to be seen? Do you think drone footage would ever get approved? Should post-production include multiple cards? You know, what can make it better? What are we leaving out here?
I've always liked post-produced footage because, you know, it ties everything up neatly in half an hour for 9 holes or whatever.
Yeah.
I would strongly encourage that you and anybody watching go look at what the Disc Golf Ledger is doing.
Okay.
They've been at a couple events recently, the Lost Valley Open and MVP. They've been basically cutting together little clips of stuff and trying to like sell the flavor of what the tournament is doing.
Okay.
And it's set to music and stuff so that it's like, so that it's a little bit of drama and narrative going with it. I think that is kind of like a direction of highlight reel that would be like really captivating for people who are already in the sport, but also, you know, showing it to your parents.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like the Warren Miller films of disc golf kind of thing.
What about drone footage? Are you for or against drones maybe coming to the sport soon?
I've never really cared for drones.
Yeah.
You know, when somebody's flying it above my head, it just feels kind of like intrusive.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it on the whole. I think it would provide a different dimension to coverage.
If they could figure out
get the aerial blimp
where it doesn't bother you
in the tournament, right?
Yeah. If we can commission the blimp, I'd be all about that. I would be the one running it, I hope.
Yeah. Right.
Gatekeeper just did try splicing together footage of chase card and lead card from the Lost Valley Open.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was a little bit messy. I think if they treat the chase card a little bit more like a highlight farm,
Okay.
and just show like relevant shots from that, doing this at a larger scale at bigger tournaments would require more cameras on the course, and it would require more collaboration between the different media outlets. Like it would kind of require everyone working on a contract for the national tour or for the pro tour or for the major.
Yeah, we'll get into that question.
Yeah, I bet.
I've got a question for you about that. But other than that, live coverage is great. How do you feel about people letting out spoilers? Do you care? Do you not care? Who cares?
No, I don't care.
Don't be so sensitive.
Yeah. That's how we feel.
If you want to avoid spoilers, stay off the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Here's
to that.
Dude,
yeah, absolutely. Cheers to that.
Y'all know how the Braves game turned out today? I do, because I watched it. If I didn't know and I was anxious to know it fresh, I'd wait until it was posted and then rewatch the entire thing. Like,
yeah, it's not that hard.
Go on social media and you don't. Okay, we're done. We're done with that question. Let's move on.
Yeah. All right. So
my thing is always been, it's not the community's. It's the onus is not on the community to protect the individual in this case, because that's where I'm at. But yeah.
I'm a firm believer of the ladies division being in desperate need of a giant growth in the PDGA in order for the sport to get bigger. For sure. And I've seen what you've been doing up in Maryland for the last couple of years, and I'm admiring it, and it's awesome, man. What have been the keys to success in starting what you're doing up in Maryland?
Yeah, so a little bit of background on what Austin's talking about. I'm the co-TD along with Allison Stone, a woman from Northern Virginia, for the Women's Open of Maryland, which we've run as a B tier for 3 years, and it's going to be an A tier for pros and a B tier for AMs this year.
Nice.
We are currently full with a wait list of like 16, which is bonkers to me. Because when we started running the event, I think there were 4 PDGA members in the state of Maryland who are women. And, we're drawing from different states. It's not like everybody's coming from Maryland. Like taking a step back for why Allie and I wanted to run this event, all 4 of us are young white men. Every time we go to the course, we see people who look like us, who throw like us, who have similar backgrounds to us. It's really easy to see yourself in disc golf. And that's not necessarily the case if you are a woman or a person of color or an old person. I'm sorry for like making big bins of things, but
don't apologize. Yeah. No.
When people don't have role models to look up to, or don't see other people who share their experiences or their culture within a community, it's kind of a turnoff to engaging within that. It takes a lot of self-confidence and a lot of will to want to stick around in that.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not sure that I have any really comparable analogies to that for, say a young black woman coming into disc golf, because in almost all the spaces I inhabit, they're designed for me. The systems were set up to benefit me. So what Allie and I are trying to do is have a tournament where women are the focus, where the players pack discs and the shirt sizes and the layout and everything else about that event is set up with them in mind. Rather than,
most of the time women are second nature,
there's like 4 of them in the tournament, so they get tagged onto the whoever's last in MA 50 or the intermediate division, like wherever the oddball set up.
It's fucked up.
Right.
I mean, I'll say it.
Yeah,
my women always start on hole 1 or 18. I'm just saying.
Hell yeah. But else, I doubt in your tournaments that there's been like a critical mass of women where like there's more than a couple cards. It's hard to find that.
I think 3 cards is the most I've ever had, and that's because the women in Atlanta love me, and I love them. They are amazing. But yeah, I've never. I mean, luckily we just moved to Durham, and Kate's able to play with like 8 or 9 girls in her division now. So
Nice. So anyway, like the women's division is growing. PDGA memberships of women are growing, but they're kind of growing at like the same rate that men are, and that means that we are not.
getting more.
I think the reason for that is that we are not really creating a space where women are necessarily welcome to participate, where they are treated as equals, where, you know, you draw a woman in doubles and there's not some guy over there snickering at you saying, like, it's not cool to do that.
Absolutely.
Like, everyone has to start from somewhere.
Mhm.
And if the first impression that we give women or people of color or any other like underrepresented demographic, every time we give them the impression that they are the other, that they don't necessarily belong here, that they might not be welcome, that people don't want them around, that's a negative message. And it's important. I know I'm like really harping on this, but it's important.
No.
It's important that our first
Yeah.
message be, you
Stay
are
positive.
valued here.
Yep.
Yes.
And when people of color bring grievances to you saying, I do not feel that I'm being treated fairly, do not be dismissive of that.
No. I mean,
Like, accept that they have a different perspective on things, and that for their entire lives, systems have been set up like without their benefit.
right.
Without their perspectives. And like, this isn't just a disc golf thing. This is a human thing.
It's a different planet for some people.
It is. Like,
Yeah.
when I walk into a bank, I probably have a different experience than when somebody else does.
Mm-hmm.
When I go to the grocery store, nobody, like, I don't have to put my stuff in a bag when I check out. But
Yeah.
like, I live in Baltimore. We have a terrible record of racial profiling, of redlining. Baltimore maybe invented redlining.
Yeah.
So disc golf is not going to solve things like racial inequality or gender inequity, but my hope is that we can be a space where everyone has the opportunity to enjoy, like, the joy of throwing a disc and watching it fly without having to think about whether they really belong.
Right.
This is something that, again, requires like the humility and willingness to listen to other people's perspectives.
Yeah, and it's almost like you're reading my mind, because our next question on the sheet is basically, we look at the NBA and the MLS, and to a lesser extent Major League Baseball. They've all done some advocacy this year that they hadn't done before. Disc golf, there isn't much of that happening right now. I think it was Big Germ had the shirt. That's all anyone saw happen. Is there something that's keeping disc golfers from speaking the way that you speak? I mean, I know you've been outspoken about this before, but with all these other major sports going ahead and saying, there's no reason not to speak out on this stuff. Is there something in disc golf why everyone's so quiet? Especially this week.
Besides Germ.
So Nate Sexton had also made an Instagram post regarding Black Lives Matter, and it received a lot of very negative comments. I'd also like to say that the WNBA has been
they were number one
front of everybody else.
Yeah, but you're right. I that was my mistake not to mention that.
That's fine. I just, like, if you are looking for role models in sports right now, it is the women who are leading the way.
Oh yeah.
Like Naomi Osaka.
Yep.
Sitting out.
U.S. women's soccer.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, years ago, they were beacons of what it means to be allies to women, allies to the LGBTQ communities, allies to like people like minority races.
Mhm.
So it's great that, the NBA, MLS, NFL players are standing up for causes that they believe in, causes that are just. For disc golfers, I posted a pretty long thread about this on Twitter the other day about why I think individual disc golfers aren't standing up for this. For me, part of it's that I really try to keep my social media, which I don't really want to be on. I really try to keep it related to disc golf, and I try to view things in the lens of how do they relate back to disc golf, which is why I say things about gender equity, about racial inequality
Through the lens of disc golf.
Yeah.
The thread is particularly about endorsing a presidential candidate. It's not worth it to me to get shouted at on the internet by strangers who are not wanting to understand like my reasoning and my logic. All they care about is the conclusion and whether that matches their pre-existing, pre-held viewpoint.
What they've already decided. Yeah.
So I fully support any disc golfers who want to, show their work and explain why they believe a particular viewpoint on an issue or want to endorse a particular candidate. But I also understand if they don't want to. Like, most of us are public figures because it kind of helps sell discs or raise our profile a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting paid enough by tournament winnings, by Discraft, by selling my Tour Series disc. There's no way that all of that is equivalent value for the mental anguish it would take for me to just say whatever I actually believe.
Right. Well, that's kind of what I was getting at. Is it a profit margin issue? Like, if some people are going to stop, no matter what you say, some people are not going to like it. So some people will stop supporting you. Are the margins so small for touring pros and local pros? There's no way they can take the chance. Because I do see ultimate players speaking out a little more than disc golfers do.
Yeah, I think that may be part of it. There also aren't really professional ultimate players. People who play ultimate,
it's club teams. Yeah.
If you play club ultimate at an elite level, like the three teams in the three divisions that won club nationals last year, they didn't win hardly anything. Their winnings are like $1,000 per team, which is 25 people, so $40 per person.
Yeah.
Like, that's not even the entry fee they paid.
Yeah.
And then you've got jerseys and field dues and tournament entry fees and travel and lodging. Like,
no wonder y'all are playing disc golf.
This is cheap.
It's the dark side, but it's also the cheapest hobby I've ever had. Like, if you're playing Elite Club Ultimate, you can expect to pay $2,000 to $3,000 per year just to play.
Yeah.
That's a significant barrier to entry. So I think that profit margin for professional disc golfers may be part of it, but also I think there's privilege, and privilege is something that is kind of conflated with other things. Like, simply put, privilege is a condition that you didn't necessarily earn that enables you to not have to deal with the same things that other people do. Like, if you are born into a wealthy household, you might not have to work when you're in high school.
Right.
You might not go hungry on Tuesday nights until your parents get their SNAP benefits or something.
You might get bailed out on your DUI.
Sure.
Sure.
And there's a lot of systems that are set up to benefit the people who already have privilege. It's not wrong to have privilege. Like, in the same way that somebody who is black cannot help that they were born black, like, you can't help if your parents are wealthy or if I was born white. But I think it's a mistake to not recognize and internalize the benefits that that confers on you. It's still possible to, like, you know, get lucky, to work hard, to, you know, to succeed, to have that drive. But privilege itself is a big baseline for what you are capable of doing. So I think that touring professionals, by and large, they've made the choice to go out on the road, but I'm not saying they're like trust fund babies or something, but being a touring pro enables you to not have to focus on just like daily
Life.
struggle,
Yeah.
Right.
on like
Yeah.
whether you are being dehumanized in a political sense or something.
Right. And think about it. I mean, you're somebody who has you can afford to throw frisbees on the road for a living. Like that's pretty high up in the like I've got what I wanted echelon of things.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a we're in such a weird little hobby, and then all of a sudden it gets elevated to this level, and we kind of forget we're really lucky we're throwing plastic.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
we're throwing
And-
plastic in the woods.
So, and again, now that we have a bigger name on than we said last time, if any female wants to pick up disc golf, message us. We will send you 2 or 3 free discs,
Got
and
'em.
you got them for free. It doesn't even matter. Just send us a message. We'll send you 2 discs, and you can go learn how to play. Andrew Fish might give you some advice.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Whatever you want to know, I'll tell you.
So I don't mean to change the subject because that got pretty deep, and I love the whole statement.
Yeah.
But the next question doesn't really fit in too much. But
Yeah, we're 40. We don't want to keep you too late. I know it's 45 minutes in already, so
I got time.
Okay, all right.
okay. So what is
All
the biggest no a tournament director does, and how can we make? Does the national tour need to get a little better? Do we need more cooks in the kitchen? Do we need less cooks in the kitchen? Those 2 things.
Let's see. Tournament director no-nos. I think that one of the least important days of the tournament is tournament day. If you have done all of your planning ahead of time, you've lined your OB, you've gotten your layout, you've communicated all of the course rules clearly to all of the players, you've accounted for any permits, you've coordinated all of your volunteers, everything should fall into place. So I can pretty well tell when somebody started thinking about their event the week of. It's sloppy. It doesn't run on time. It doesn't, there's 11 different places that they have the information. It's on, Disc Golf Scene and Facebook, and then another Facebook page, and then they texted a couple players and figured everybody else would hear about it that way. I think it's really important to think through all the steps of the event months before, even if you're running a little C tier, write down all of your milestones and then follow it. Following through is not super hard. It just means that you've got to be diligent ahead of time.
Yeah.
As far as the national tour, the national tour, in my opinion, wasn't really a tour because it was just kind of 6 disparate events spread out in time and space. It wasn't really a tour until it was kind of stitched together by the Pro Tour. And
Right.
The Pro Tour's had its growing pains. At this point, it's pretty well established, and I think they've got a good model.
The coverage looks good now. I love their coverage now.
Yeah, their coverage is good. I went to 2 events this year. They were fairly well run. I don't think the national tour is necessarily any better or worse, but it's definitely less media forward, which makes it a little more difficult to get itself front and center and promote itself. The PDGA doesn't have the same discretionary latitude that any private entity like the Pro Tour or any of the media outfits do to brand itself and promote itself. And I think that kind of makes it difficult for people to recognize the value in the national tour, and it also makes it difficult for the national tour to grow its profile beyond what is currently existing. I wouldn't be surprised. I know for a fact that the Pro Tour and the PDGA have been talking for a couple years about like what their future holds, and I think they've kind of agreed to just kind of stand pat for now and keep running both tours concurrently and let players figure it out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if in the future there's that there ends up being a merger, or if the Pro Tour buys out the national tour or something. But we were talking about growth. I think that there's some challenges inherent in like the PDGA ceding control of its premier tour to a private entity that is interested in promoting itself, and promoting the sport of disc golf is a little bit tangential to that. Whereas the PDGA, like, they are the disc golf organization for its members.
Right. It's like the difference between the PGA playoffs, like the tour playoffs, and the actual like major events they have on the PGA tour.
Yeah.
It's a tricky situation. I mean, the whole hierarchy seems completely muddled, and I wonder if that's going to have to get figured out for the next step in disc golf's evolution.
Yeah. I think there's so many things in disc golf that they evolve to where they are now, and there's a lot of like, well, we always did it this way, and it's hard to like make the leap of what we actually want it to be, because there's all this like history and stuff.
I mean, in this world today, what exactly do we do the same as we did in 1972?
I'm not sure I'm qualified to answer that. I wasn't alive then.
Yeah, well,
fair.
Exactly. I don't think we should be trying to run disc golf the same. But anyways, so we're talking disc golf now. You've got an ultimate background though, so it made ultimate sense for you to go to Discraft when you signed professionally. And I personally have seen the comment work. I did hear a little rumor that Prodigy tried pretty hard originally to sign you for a little contract, if I'm not mistaken.
I never heard that. I was with Innova in 2014 and 15, but I was never approached by Prodigy for a playing sponsorship.
Damn, Phil, where are you at?
No longer Phil.
So I was unsponsored in 2016 and then half of 2017, and then Discraft picked me up in the middle of 2017, just after Worlds.
Nice.
So I've been with them for about 3 years, and I've had a great experience with them.
Right.
Right on.
Wow.
All right.
How do you feel? Go ahead, Austin.
How do you personally feel about Brody Smith joining the game? I mean, did you play Ultimate with him?
I've played against him twice when we were both in college. The benefits are obvious. Brody is a high-profile person who understands how to promote himself and what he's doing through like digital and social media. And it's pretty clear that he's gained a following in that. Brody is one of the most talented ultimate throwers probably in the history of the game.
Well, besides you.
Oh. So like he's starting with a really high floor. His understanding of like disc throwing is really high. So, at this point I'm kind of like the best ultimate player throwing golf discs, at least in the MPO division. I'm going to be really interested to see how his track continues and like how high he can take himself.
I was very impressed with his win he had at that B tier.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, he's throwing some good rounds.
Yeah, he's continuing to show his face up there at the top cards in tournaments playing.
Yeah, he's a fan of the show. I'm pretty sure he watches every single episode. If you had any advice for him, what would it be?
Oh, right now? Well, I mean, he's going to have to show up in the comments.
You hear that, Brody? Show up in the comments.
I honestly don't know that I have any advice for him. He's already getting plenty of input from Paul Macbeth.
Oh, yeah, no kidding.
So, like,
what more can you learn?
yeah, what am I going to tell him? Like, everything I'm going to say is like,
My boss is gonna say hi.
hey,
What up,
Hey,
guys? Down here from
Oh,
Gulf
God.
Shores, hurricane cleanup. Sorry to interrupt. Just want to say hey.
Andrew,
Carry on.
Anyway, that's kind of a perfect
speaking of
segue.
MP40.
We've got our fun questions now. Are you ready for fun questions?
Oh
I
yeah,
think fun.
am I first? I think I'm first.
No,
on
I'm first. I'm first. Get
Damn
out.
it!
We're going to make you the president of the PDGA for 1 month. What's on your agenda?
On my agenda. Okay, so first, we are going to do some more creative membership options. You're going to be able to play leagues. Get a PDGA number and play leagues for $10 a year. If you want to bump up to full, well, you got to pay a little bit more.
Yep.
I want to have like kind of a tester option. Your first year is only $25 or something. I want to make it easier for members or for players to become members of the PDGA. And then I want to make it more apparent what the value of the PDGA is right now. Right now, everybody thinks it's just, you get $10 off your tournaments and you get your rating and you get your magazine. I think that there's a lot of other avenues they can go with that. And I think that it would be very valuable to promote the initiatives that the PDGA is putting forward, like growth in like youth participation, or just like being very transparent and public and like hammering home where your membership dollars go. It's not like it is not flowing into the pockets of the PDGA staff. Those guys are making peanuts and
Right, they're
working
a
harder than
nonprofit.
anybody
They're
else.
getting paid the legal minimum that they can get paid, pretty much, right?
So
Yeah, I mean, I know. I'm sure Fish does, but I know all them guys. Marty, I can't remember his name right now.
well, do you know all of them?
Zach?
You know them all, Cody? You can't
Yeah, I
remember
know
their
all of them. I used to
Yeah.
go. We used to go
I
to.
named one of them.
We used,
names? See ya. So let's say adversely, we're going to make you the president of Discraft for a month. What are you doing?
We're gonna run a premium plastic Ultra Star.
I love that answer.
Yeah. We're gonna bring back a couple of molds that are out of production.
The Wasp,
Let's see.
the Tracker.
Anything else I say is going to be like a brutal takedown of some tournament they sponsor or something, and that's
Okay.
all over.
Fair. We can keep it safer. It's funny. We had Sarah Hokum on, and the first thing she said was like, this mold, this plastic. I was like, it's so funny to me when dudes are like, we're making this plastic and this mold that I've wanted for my entire life. I couldn't have it. That's the first thing I'm doing. So that's good. Not paying myself more or whatever it was, but yeah. All right, cool.
This is my favorite question to ask. Luckily, they let me ask it every week. Who would be your non-disc golfer celebrity dubs partner, alive or dead?
Michael Palin.
Michael Palin. Who is? Tell me, Michael
You're
Palin.
gonna have to give me some explanation.
Guys.
cheating on
He was part of the Monty Python troupe.
Oh shit,
It's merely a flesh wound.
dude!
Well, he didn't say that.
Well, no,
What were
that's
his-
from the
well,
Monty
yeah.
Python.
That's all Austin knows about Monty Python.
Yeah, that's all I know.
We're uncultured swine, Andrew. I'm sorry about that.
Well, at least you know yourself.
Yeah, we do. We know our audience.
So I got a little more on the personal side question. I know you said you graduated from Georgia Tech. I even put in here you're a hell of an engineer in quotes, and I hate to say that because I'm a dog fan. But what are you doing up in Maryland now for work?
I've been working for the last 6.5 years for Baltimore County.
Okay.
I work for the Department of Environmental Protection and Sustainability, and I had been doing watershed restoration projects. Currently, I'm reviewing stormwater plans for development projects.
Nice.
So, basically, somebody wants to build a McDonald's. I basically verify that it meets the Maryland stormwater standards and the county code.
Making sure all the water's draining in the right places and such.
I mean, everything flows downhill, so that part's easy. But all of this is initiated by being really close to the Chesapeake Bay, and
Okay.
like it's a huge cultural, environmental, economic resource that Baltimore and DC and Philadelphia all have like lots of drainage area going into the Chesapeake Bay. So
Right.
it's vitally important that we keep that clean. And water resources are important everywhere. You can see this in like the Colorado River supplying all of the water to California. Atlanta has had ongoing lawsuits, like the state of Georgia, Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee have all had water rights disputes
Over
for
the hooch?
years.
Over the hooch.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because there's got to be a certain amount that flows at a certain temperature and quality to feed the Gulf Coast and the fisheries down there.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Delta.
absolutely.
All that stuff.
So I mean, speaking of, I was just working on the Chattahoochee not that long ago with Planet Earth Designs.
Mhm.
I've been working for him for a little bit while now, and Fickle told me to tell you hello.
Is that it? He didn't say anything involving the word sack.
No, he told me everything about that. I just
Okay.
figured there'd be too long of a story to go into personal stories about that.
Well, you can tell him. You can tell him I'm dangerously close to a mullet.
I think he would respect it highly.
Yes, he would. Yes, he would.
Do you know the old man's married and has a kid now?
He had a kid before I moved.
No, not Fickle. Harris.
Oh,
did.
Harris did.
Fickle.
Yeah. So Fick was dating somebody pretty seriously, but I didn't know he had gotten married and had a kid. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he married an old girl that he was dating back then.
Okay.
And they just had a baby a couple weeks ago. But he told me to tell you what up. Yeah, Harris is out in Mount Zion right now on the 10-year anniversary.
Nice.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah, but I'm just working for Planet Earth. I saw a picture of you hand digging a patio the other day, and
Sounds right. I had a lot of fun working with them. Just doing landscaping stuff was pretty close to what I had been doing for the Forest Service in Washington, and it's really cool. Like right now, I don't get to see the product of what I'm putting out. I'm just looking at stormwater plans and calculations.
Yeah.
It's really cool to do something that you see the fruits of your labor. Like that was the joy of working at Perkerson, where like I'd go home sweaty and muddy and dirty, and there were 2 steps in the ground.
Yep.
That absolutely leads me to my next thing. I was like, how was building Perkerson? And I mean, a lot of our viewers are actually like Perkerson Park. What am I looking for? The frequenters.
Yeah.
Best Adam, Paul, John, Avi.
Like half our live audience.
That park is amazing.
Half our audience,
My favorite
half
portion
our
ever.
live audience is Perkerson goers. And I mean, you built that track with John, didn't you?
Not so John laid all the groundwork for it. He had carpet tees put in, and
I think we might have lost a little
the original
connection here.
positions.
No,
But
Let's see what we get
What's
here.
Adam
Okay.
thinks he lost connection.
Yeah, Adam freaks out every once in a while.
okay, well that's his fault, not mine.
Yeah, you're
right.
good.
So John had kind of gotten more into like family and work stuff by the time I was really getting into disc golf. So he more or less like shared his plan and his vision with me and let me run with it. So
Hell
a lot
yeah.
of clearing privet and then like using the old stones from the bathhouse to just build steps and other stuff.
Those stairs between 1 and 5.
Yeah, 1 and 5, and then going
They're
between
still
2
there?
and 3, and then up to hole 12 and down from 14. And then like the terracing on hole 15. Like it was a blast. It was really cool to like translate this overgrown mess of a park into a really, really good disc golf course. And like John Ritger's leadership in doing that, and like the minute changes he would make to the design to make something flow better or play better or like just be visually more appealing, really informed a lot of my opinions about how I approach courses. And playing Perkerson made me a better player, because like you can score there with 320 feet of distance.
Yeah.
You can score on every hole there.
Yep.
That's why I've won so many tournaments there.
That's why I like it so much.
Sure. It was a really, really good time, and I miss it every day because there isn't really that canvas to build from up here, at least not that I've found.
Well, if you ever want to come down for Hotlanta, Frother's got your entry fee.
Iron Leaf.
Or Iron Leaf. Yeah, either one. Frother's got your entry fee.
No, for real, dude. I'll put you up, and I'm sure you've got people to stay with in Atlanta. But
yeah. I've come down a couple times for it.
And won a couple times.
No, I've only won once at Perkerson. It was.
I'm still baffled. K-Mac called you on that foot fault that one year.
Oh boy,
You don't remember that?
I
think it was like 2017.
2017. Was that on hole 18?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It was coming down to the clutch, and like it was a pretty hard like question. I was like, K-Mac, why you got to call it like that?
So I was pinned up against a tree at the bottom of the hill, probably throwing 3. It might have been 4. And I was on a route.
Step putt?
No.
This is approaching the basket, the par 5 on 18.
Yeah, it was a fairway shot.
The bottom of the creek. I think your second shot went OB, and you were throwing 4.
Okay, that sounds conceptually right. I think it probably was a foot fault. I don't remember if it was like stepping over my disc or landing on my disc when I stepped. But
I think it was that you stepped off to the right of it on accident or something. I'm not 100%, and avoiding the route. I just remember the call, and I was like, I've never heard a foot fault.
I don't think it was a bogus call. I think it was valid. And like, if I might diverge for a minute, because this has been one big diversion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Hey, that's what we do. Well,
yeah,
we're really good at that.
At that time, the foot fault rule was, your first one was basically a warning, and it didn't require a second. You did not receive a penalty stroke, and you re-threw.
Absolutely.
I think that is a much better application of the rule.
I agree.
Than what is currently in place, where it does require a second, but you immediately get a penalty shot and have to like take the result of what you threw.
Yeah.
I heard that the original rule was being like manipulated by people who would call their buddies on one bogus foot fault around so that they could rethrow a bad shot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of the pendulum swung to the opposite side, where
Too far.
Yeah, like you and a buddy can call somebody and like they instantly take a stroke and take their result. This year I've called 2 foot faults that like I could clearly see the player stepping on their disc.
Yep. I call my wife all the time.
If she earned it, she earned it.
She earned it.
She earned it.
But it really
But
sucks.
I mean, that's the self-officiating in disc golf is like nobody wants to be the asshole or nobody wants to be the, that guy, so to say.
It really sucks that calling anything on anybody immediately just like erupts the card.
Yeah, down the card level goes.
Yeah, and I think it's really important that like from casual rounds to league rounds to tournament rounds, we apply the rules neutrally and consistently. Like it doesn't matter if it's your competitor and you're tied, or if it's your buddy playing for quarters or something,
or you're down by 10
Can I get a pickup?
You notice something.
But also I would strongly support the PDGA revising that rule so that your first offense was a warning and a rethrow.
Warning. Yeah.
Because Yeah, like think of all the shitty ways that could happen. Like it's muddy, you step, you slip, you hit
You
your
see a
disc.
snake, you see a bug.
Well, in
know,
ball
something.
golf, if you are taking a practice swing and accidentally hit your golf ball, and everybody agrees that you hit your golf ball, it's no stroke. So it's kind of like your one freebie,
Huh.
you know.
That one doesn't seem a fish, but
No, yeah, freaking. I think Dustin did it a couple weeks ago and like looked at everybody and he was like, "Bro, I accidentally hit my ball on my practice swing," and they were like, "No, it's okay, just a warning or something."
I think there's more to that story.
No, it was pretty good, pretty good stuff. It was
All right,
hilarious. I've never seen anything like it.
Okay, so I got a question for you. Lately, it's been like all these hyped up, like the Cloudbreaker release and all these hyped up releases to get freaky stuff, sells out real fast. Some of those have been really botched. Like some of these releases have been terribly botched, I think either by the company or by some of the retailers. Is there any incentive to fix that issue? Or is the hype part of the whole value of doing it that way?
I have never really bought into like the special release discs. I just go stock stamp stuff because it's easy to replace and like I don't have a monetary attachment to it. Like
So nothing in your bag is special.
I've got a couple things that like were given to me or are used out of somebody else's bag, but it's not like throwing a CET bird or something that like you legitimately cannot get.
Let's be real, Andy.
You lost your Cloudbreaker.
Fish doesn't lose plastic, dude.
Fish loses a lot of plastic. Fish is a yard sale, man. It's terrible.
You just leave them out all over the course, or what?
I had a
That's generally what I do. I don't actually like lose discs. I just like I throw an extra and just like forget about it.
Me too.
I kind of quit doing that, but like forgetting discs, I like counted how many were in my bag religiously, constantly. But like I threw a force into a fairway in the grass, and I don't know where it is. Last year, right before D-Glow, which is like very much a thrower's course. Like you need to know your plastic in order to, and your distance drivers especially. I lost a crank, I lost a force, I lost a wasp, and I lost an undertaker the week of the event.
Wow.
It would have been nice to have that beat-in force or something. So I kind of don't care that much about all these releases, and I don't understand the motivations of the people who have to get this thing.
Yeah.
I would like to see a little bit more forethought from the manufacturers so that, like, if there is if there's a Tour Series disc or something that's being bought and then resold, I would rather that value go to the player, not the reseller. Like the reseller is not, they're the middleman. They're not an important part of this transaction. They didn't make the disc. They're not stamped on the disc.
No,
they're
the guy with the fastest fingers or the bot or whatever it is.
Yep.
Well, it's just like the PlayStation and the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox. They sold out in less than minutes, and like it was all bots that bought them up just so they could sell them on the internet.
Isn't some of that hype manufactured?
I got one on pre-order.
You know what I mean? Like,
no, you did.
What I'm saying is for a player like the Cloudbreaker 2 is the most recent one I can think of. For a player like Eagle McMahon, or that was an Eagle disc, right? And for Discmania, like it's everyone's gonna be talking about it. It's free advertising. I couldn't get my Cloudbreaker. Like that's every one of those tweets is an advertisement that someone's gonna see, right?
That's a good thing.
Yes, but also at some level, it's a disappointed customer who might not try again.
Right.
I don't know if there's necessarily a like right or wrong answer here, but it turns out that all these stock discs I have fly exactly the same as the other ones.
Yeah,
dude, I'll tell you,
I'll take a D2 all day.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely. Stock stamps fly the same.
Yeah,
I actually go for the factory seconds most of the time.
Yeah,
sure.
Cheaper
like
and
saving money.
it's better on me.
what's the most valuable disc in your bag right now? If you were to go resale right now, what would it be?
Come on, dude. It's a Comet. There's no other answer.
I mean, most valuable monetary. I don't even mean like the one you're going to use the most, but like, what could you grab from your bag?
a
And be like,
10-year
this is gonna
bug?
give me
What
60
would
bucks?
be cutting Samson's hair out from your bag?
If I've got a Comet that I've been working on for like 3 years that if I lost it, it would be difficult to throw some shots, some super steep hyzer flips. But in terms of like monetary value,
is there anything that's like a $60 disc golf dollar auction thing or no?
I doubt it. I'm not on those sites. The only thing I can really think of is like another Comet. Like they changed the ESP blend probably 2 years ago. And I managed to get like the last few on the shelf of the like older ESP blend. So maybe if there was a connoisseur out there that's like, I only throw pre-2018s or something, they might be going for it.
I know that guy. I know a guy.
Oh, good heavens.
Parker, I know you're watching. He's got your ESP bullshit you want.
Well, turns out I like throwing it too, so I'm not giving up my stash readily.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, no,
we can find
no
a
comments for you.
All right, ATL,
you know what?
I've
got a couple test flight discs, like a couple Vultures and a Raptor.
Okay.
So those are real short supply. I don't know what they go for, but I like throwing them, so that's it.
That doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I've never found frisbees to be collectibles. Like if I ever like spend any money on a frisbee, I want to know how it flies.
X1, pretty collectible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I've got a couple, but I want to know how it flies. So they've all been thrown. You know.
All right, Fish. We only have we got a couple more good ones.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we got a couple more. All right. What's the Waffle House order?
Um.
Does it change? Do you drink? Yeah. Does it change after a night of
right now,
college?
Austin? Yes.
College parties.
I'm smart enough not to drink to hangover, so yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
It's either going to be a waffle or an omelet, but it's always going to be triple order of hash browns, scattered and triple covered.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Covered.
We ask every single guest that question, and that's my favorite answer so far for sure.
No, I like the triple order. Just fucking all I want browns, dude.
With an omelet, I might even go triple eggs over medium, and then just mix it all together.
All right. So they give me my two favorite questions to ask. So you just won a tournament, you just got a raise, you just did something, you just got the best news of your life. What is your celebratory meal? What are you making? What are you going out to get? Either or.
I would say like twice a year I splurge and get a rack of ribs and an old fashioned from the barbecue place that's down the street from me.
Hell yeah.
So like that's the big time celebration. And
so are you playing USDGC?
Nope.
Nope.
So I'll explain. I haven't played USDGC since 2015. The course is demanding.
Yeah.
The course is historic. The course is dramatic, but I don't like it. I don't like all of the rope. I don't like that there's very little shot shaping actually involved in it.
Yeah.
And I think that with my game, I can be reasonably successful there.
Yeah.
But I'm also not about to take a week to go down there and have to practice and then play 3 days of the tournament and then not really enjoy it. I would rather take those 5 days that I would be taking and just take off 5 Fridays for an A tier that I can drive to here.
Yeah.
Right.
Heck yeah. That's a great answer. I know that seems to be USDGC has always been, and Winthrop has always been kind of like a flashpoint in course design.
Do you agree with them not counting the ratings because of 17? Or should they count? Should they
because of 16 and 17? I mean, it's all bullcocky.
I don't really have a strong opinion on that. I don't care about ratings that much. It's nice when my rating goes up. It's nice when I shoot a high round rating. But the way I feel about a tournament is often very disparate from that.
Okay.
Is that you? I mean, you're an analytical guy. I wonder, are you protecting yourself from being too analytical about your rating in some of that, or is it?
Um,
Or does feel more important? Like, I'm a superstitious disc golfer, and for you to hear you say the feeling was more important than the number in some cases, I was surprised by that answer. Is all.
Okay, so the best round of disc golf I've ever played was 27 holes where I didn't miss a line and I didn't miss a putt inside of 40 feet. It was rated 1050 something. This year I've shot 3 rounds in the 1070s and none of them were that good.
Oh, wow.
There's
Okay.
like the rating system is pretty good as like a composite. If you play enough
Chuck's
rounds
gone.
on enough different kinds of courses against large fields, like it shakes out to be a pretty accurate number.
Yeah.
Right.
But like an individual round rating, there's so many different variables that can go into that.
Yeah.
Like if you play a birdie course, like strokes can be worth 13 points.
Yep. Absolutely.
Like think about the Memorial. It just gives up 1100 round ratings all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I don't remember exactly what the course record is at Iron Hill, but the round rating record there, or the course record there is like 1065, 1070. Is it really 60 points worse than Paul's 17 down at Mountain Hills?
Yeah.
I don't think so. But because strokes are only worth 5.5 points, because strokes are worth 5.5 points at Iron Hill, it's hard to go really high or really low. So I think that there's ways that the rating system could be improved. I'm not invested enough to try to implement those.
I mean, that sounds like a project.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I mean, I've never understood the entire ratings algorithm crap. I've never understood it.
I probably understand it better than most, and like all the contingencies that would be required in order to like tweak it to make it perfect, to make it like show up the way that.
Shouldn't every course have like a slope rating and par rating and all that good stuff? I mean, like just like PGA style, right?
I mean, sort of, but also like conditions matter, fields matter.
Right.
Wind.
I don't know. It's.
I feel like I think everything's a consideration every like tournament.
It's a lot.
All right, that's, we could have an entire podcast just about ratings.
Yeah, we could, and it would result in like us shouting and then whatever. I think the more intrusive thing about the Winthrop course is the things that it displays to aspiring course designers.
Oh, I freaking hate that, dude.
The mini golf.
Nice.
Well, I mean, like, there's some things that they've really done well. They've pushed the envelope on like making a course stressful with the addition of artificial out of bounds.
Yeah.
They're taking like, think about hole 11. There's a hedgerow on the side, and then there's like a bowl that you're kind of throwing into. That hole would be boring if there were no ropes. But adding ropes makes it very difficult to play and score on straight up. The bad thing that I think they've done with it, it doesn't fit into the university landscape when they're like when it's not specifically set up for that.
Mm-hmm.
For example, you're throwing over parking lots. You're throwing around and beside sidewalks and other sports facilities. That is giving the message to aspiring course designers that like it's okay to throw right next to parking lots. It's okay to throw by sidewalks and like places that other people reasonably would go. I think that showing that as a top tier course design and premier tournament in the sport makes it
not a good idea.
It's not. It works because they can close down the entire place.
Yeah.
It doesn't work if you don't have that level of management all the time.
I mean, to put it on a podium, you kind of dare everyone else to do it the same way. and it's not going to work everywhere.
Rumor has it, USDGC might be coming to Georgia.
What?
These are way off.
That's
these
a crazy rumor. All right, so next question.
Yeah. You can keep that Frolfcenter exclusive.
Yeah.
Just know it's been
Austin, what
said.
you got?
Yeah, you said it, so now it's been said, and now it's out there.
Next question.
Oh, it's there.
What
It's
you
there.
got?
K-Mac told me. Whatever, dude. Fuck you guys. All right. Who are the top? All right, dude. This is a fun one. Who are your top 3 disc golfers? Period.
Answer it however you want. Who do you want to talk about on this podcast?
Top 3 to play with. Top 3 of all time.
Top three
Yeah.
Oh, 3
top
tallest.
3 weirdest.
Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to qualify.
Who are your top 3 disc golfers?
Okay, I'm going to say the card that I most want to play with.
Brian Gort. Okay.
Oh, God, no.
Cody Vitale.
That's gross. I want to play with Michael Johansson because, like, we're going to chirp it about every shot.
And
if
he
you
beats
throw
you
a
at
good shot,
Stafford
you're gonna hear it, and I get to do like all the win reads off of his comments.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. Right?
I mean, that's good.
I want to play with Eric Smith. Eric is like a 990 guy from Northern Virginia. He was a Discraft player for a long time. I think I probably have a career, like we said, ratings don't matter, but I think I have a career rating probably like 20 points higher than my actual rating when he's on my card because he just keeps it so light.
Yeah.
All right.
Third. I played a practice round with Zoe Andike and Dustin Keegan last year, so just pick one of them at Beaver State Fling, and it was like the most helpful practice round I've had on a course playing blind because they didn't just like tell me what to throw and like where to land and stuff. It was just like a super pleasant experience playing with people who genuinely wanted to see you throw a good shot and like were relentlessly encouraging about that.
Right.
Sometimes it's hard to find that during a tournament setting. But like playing with them is just like a delightful experience every time.
Yeah, I think I can say the same about you, Fish. Dude, like every time we play together, you know, it's always positive words.
Oh.
You know, I love you, buddy. But, you know, like last weekend I played with my dear friend Dave Felberg, and it's just like nothing out of his mouth was positive at all. It was nothing but straight snarks and like underlying comments like to try to get into your head about like what you're going to throw.
I mean, he's been notorious for that for a while. He wants every edge he can find.
Yeah, well, and everybody knows that at this point, but it's just like, as an up-and-coming pro, it's just like it's so discouraging to do that, and I've had to deal with it for the last 3 years, but it sucks.
I mean, you could move to Maryland.
Okay, I'm there. I might go 10-20 then.
Were we talking about dollar?
Yeah, that's one and the same.
Oh, sorry.
No, we were talking about Dave.
Oh, okay, my bad.
We can talk about dollar. You want to talk about dollar?
If you have a dollar story, that'd be great.
It doesn't have to be nice.
I think I have lots of dollar stories, but I'd just like to say, whatever the audience is, I hope it's hundreds of thousands. I am the Thumber Master.
Oh! Better than me, too, I bet.
Is it because he threw his shoulder out or what?
No. I'm Thumber Master. That's all there is to it, really.
Some viewer questions.
There he goes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'll take whatever.
Fish throws a better thumber than dollar. There it is, boys.
I mean, probably this year for 100% sure. I don't. Yeah,
I bet you 2020 I bet you 2020 Fish throws a better thumber than 2020 dollar.
I would put $50 on that.
I mean, yeah, probably, but I mean,
Fish is a big fan of mustard.
Are you a big fan of mustard? Do you like mustard?
Next question, please.
Oh, right. Yes, absolutely.
No mustard.
Let me see here. Sorry, I'm reading through these as we go here. This is more of a comment, but Bryson James, hey Fish, thanks for all the work you did at Perk and Women's Disc Golf. Miss playing with you.
That's great.
Johnny
I have a PA4 for you if you want.
How old was
I'll take that
Bryson
PA4
when you played with them? Like 17, 16 years old?
Bryson?
Yeah.
I think when I moved, I think he was in his first or second year of college.
Nice.
He was a wee young
He's
man.
engaged.
Johnny,
Oh,
to
yeah,
married now.
a wee
You
young
know that,
twerp.
right?
Johnny Everyone said the Wasp is out of production. Is that true?
As far as I know, they're still
No,
making
Adam
Z-Wasp.
Hammis just started his Z-Wasp. I forgot about that.
That
So
guy.
you can't get them in all plastics, but I think Z is available.
Yeah.
Paul Bell says, "I heart Andrew Fish." Not a question. Again, just want to put that out there.
Yeah, not a question.
Not a question.
Oh.
Johnny Avery brought up this linear tributaries, corps. I think we might have cut off your answer about what you were doing with water flow through rivers. I think we might have killed you, but
I kind of just brought up the Chattahoochee as an example of another
Yep.
another example where water
Tributary.
resources are super important.
Yep.
Like everything flows downstream. So cities and roads are huge producers of pollution, and all of that ends up going to the folks downstream. So it's really important to treat that at the source and consider what the impacts are before you start doing it.
All right. That's good. That was most of our viewer questions. Cody's got a hot one for you, and I'm a little afraid, to be honest with you.
Oh, God.
All right. So basically, the last couple of little things we say is, do you want to talk about anything that you want to talk about that we didn't ask you? Like, we're going to give you your moment to shine, but is there anything you want to talk about that we didn't ask you? Or is there any questions you have for the old Frolfcenter team, Frolfcenter, or advice? Are we doing it right? What do we need to do?
Let's see. So for my free-form discussion, I'll say thank you to Discraft. Thank you to Upper Park. I've been super happy with those products. I'm excited for Upper Park's recent acquisition, and they're expected to be ramping up their production again
My
soon.
wife is buying the next bag. She loves Upper Park.
Excellent. Let's see if like Popeyes or something wanted to sponsor me, I'd be all about it.
Not Arby's, though?
Dude, did you ever get Hattie
You get
B's?
Arby's on that.
What was Austin's question?
Hattie B's?
What that is?
Hattie B's hot chicken?
I'm not
They're not
familiar
going to
with
have that up there. Hattie
Oh,
B's is not.
okay.
There.
I'm sorry. They just came to Atlanta. I think they've been in Atlanta since 2012.
Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're from Nashville, but it's fire. Sorry.
Okay. Let's see. Questions for y'all. All right. Cody, best course you've played in Durham?
It's a little outside of Durham, but it's Buckhorn.
Okay. That's near Raleigh.
Buckhorn Open. You play the course. It's a pretty technical, but they got some longer shots, and then you putt towards the power plant smokehouse.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Okay. Have you played Rock Ridge?
Yeah.
Okay. I played there on Monday, and I really liked it. I thought it was a
Hey
great
man, if
technical
you're,
course.
next time you're in the area, I'd love to play with you.
I was bombing through, visiting some family.
Yeah. But yeah, Rock Ridge is good. I mean, the lower half of Raleigh has some really good courses down there.
Cool. I'll have to check them out. Unfortunately, it's like trying to hit, if I'm traveling down that way, trying to manage.
You would really like
traffic.
Apex Nature Reserve. I feel like you would score really well there.
Okay, I'll look into it. Let's see.
Any other questions or advice for us, brother?
Let's see. I got a question for Austin. You got on a hot streak a couple years ago.
Ooh.
Why didn't you go on tour at that point?
Ooh.
Like that real thing. Like I kind of feel like anytime anybody gets on a hot streak and they have the opportunity to go play bigger events, I think you should, because it'll make you better.
I went out and played Worlds that year.
Is that it? When Worlds
it was in our 2 hours away. And I mean, you're right. I made $1,500 in 2 weekends, and it just wasn't financially like the responsible move for me at the time.
Uh-huh.
I got rent and all sorts of stuff going on. I don't know. That's why I just didn't go out. That's
He's
my
gonna start
excuse.
traveling with Alden. I can feel it.
Yeah, I definitely. I'm feeling that like an entire tour season. Like I just like I want to be able to give time to be able to dedicate to it and not just like take a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off and just move out there. Like go out on the road, practice, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, tournament Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and be
Yeah.
ready.
It's I know that for me, that's something that I've always thought about, like vaguely fantasized about. Is
Correct.
kind
And
of
it's like
dropping
I can't
everything.
give up my day job for that.
Right. I think you kind of have to plan it ahead where, you've got 6 months and you've got $10,000 saved up. So it doesn't matter if you cash. You go for the experience.
Yeah, and that's the stage I'm getting to, and like I'm it's coming up in like the next couple of years, but before I get too fucking old to do it. But
Before that elbow gives
Clock's
out.
ticking, buddy.
yeah, exactly.
that shoulder
If I keep
elbow.
throwing these sidearms, I'm not going to be able to hang up in like the 35 area. But yeah, I'm definitely planning it. It's coming.
All right.
But to answer back to 2017 when I went
Oh, yeah.
from 950 to 990, I just wasn't financially ready for it right then.
Okay.
Fair enough. Cool.
So this sir, can you please turn down your shirt? Your shirt. It's very loud.
That's the point. I'm that guy.
That's
I'm
the
that
owner.
80s
That's the
great
producer.
loud dude. That's my role.
That's your produce.
I'm the new Forrest Callaway, is what I am.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Oh, you don't want to be that.
Well, no, not like creep, not weird like Forrest, but like the outfit and the height.
Not punching,
and everything.
not
It's
punching
cool.
Yeah,
palm trees.
So
Oh, I'm not mad.
My favorite Forrest Callaway thing is that at one of the Augusta Classics, he shot a 700, 800, 900, and 1,000 rated round in the same tournament.
That sounds exactly
Has anybody ever done that?
That's the most
Oh
Forrest
my
I've ever
God,
fucking
that's
done. Like,
amazing.
All
Life
right.
goal,
How many
dude. That is a
fingers do you
life
break
goal.
punching things? Yeah.
That's a life goal.
Right?
Oh.
All right. I want to hear power ranking of Atlanta area courses.
Well,
Oh, we
funny
have
you should
it.
ask.
We have a whole bracket.
We did a bracket. So when
I
everyone was
heard about
arguing
that.
about COVID, back in
Ferguson
Yeah.
it was April.
Ferguson won.
So in April, everybody in Atlanta was pissed off because we took the stance of, hey, the PDGA said don't go play right now because of
We
COVID.
didn't include Central. Central wasn't in the top 30.
But we did this whole thing. It's like everyone's
can you
arguing.
include Central?
As a moderator of the Facebook page, I am drowning and sweating in just absolute trash. And so I said, fuck it. And Frolfcenter did a track bracket. We did 32 different courses and we let people vote on them.
Not including Central
every
Park.
day. We did every day through to the end. There were some very controversial results. Etowah beat Perkerson.
Barf.
Which
Oh, yeah.
that was I threw up that day. I physically vomited. But it was because Etowah folks waited till the last minute to like hit the little button. It was by the end, people had figured it out.
We do popularity contests.
It was a shit show. Yeah, it was a popularity contest.
Hobbs Farm won it, but
Yeah, Hobbs Farm, dude.
But
They've
I
done
think
some updates that it's a world.
it's a nice.
It's a pro level course now with the update.
It goes
But if
Hobbs,
you're asking
Etowah,
me-
Perk.
If you're asking me
According
my
to the
top
internet.
3, I'm gonna go top 3 make you a better disc golfer. I'm gonna go ERP, Mosley, Perkerson. Those are my quintessential Atlanta 3.
Ferguson, Sequoia, Hobbs.
Boy, Sequoia.
That's
no,
just
I don't
where I
agree.
grew up playing, but
That's
I
where I
wouldn't say
grew up.
Sequoia.
Sorry.
Sequoia is a luck factory.
I
is
relabeled
what I
it.
like to call it.
Oh, Fish
Um,
hasn't been there since I redesigned it. There's no gauntlet.
It's not redesigned. There's still the same numbers. Like
There's no gauntlet.
Sequoia is a luck factory. The
A
top
luck
3
factory.
courses in Georgia are Perkerson, Hobbs, Lula.
Lula's good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it sounds like
But Lula's not
Mosley-
exactly Atlanta.
Hold on. What, Fish?
Aside from Mosley, it sounds like there's no love for the South Side.
Griffin's coming up.
no.
Cinco Lagos.
Oh, Kevin does a good job.
Kevin does
Yeah,
a good job.
Does a
I
really
played
good job.
Tyus and really liked
It was just too far of a drive for us, I think.
Tice is
Austin
good.
lives in
Gundy's good.
Gwinnett. I lived in Woodstock. so we can't really get
Yeah,
down
that's
to
fucking
riffing.
3-hour drive,
But
2-hour
that
drive.
shit,
I think I was giving my.
Kevin's about to run Worlds down there eventually. He's got so many courses lined up.
It seemed like he was ramping up for an AM Worlds bid or something.
Yep. No,
Yeah,
he'll get
definitely.
AM Worlds for sure. Next 2 years.
Wow.
All right,
He's really
dude.
trying. Kevin's pushing hard. Fish, thank you so much for coming on. Like, you
Damn,
didn't have to do
Fish,
this.
an hour
We
and
don't
45
always do
minutes. Thank you so much.
For sure.
Once again,
I like
we want to
talking
give
about Frisbee.
Yeah.
We want to
And
give you
other
the
things.
floor one more time to tell the world whatever they need to hear about how to follow you, how to support you, all that stuff. And if you ever want to come back on, for the love of God, please let us know.
Please.
I'll try to win something so there's a reason for me to come back.
Well,
on. Brag
dude,
about it.
there's been this
We
like
just need
thing.
to come on, so you let us know.
Yeah, there's been this thing like everybody we interview goes on to win a tournament in like their next 2 or 3 tournaments afterwards.
Nice. I've got a B tier coming up.
Oh,
Yes.
there's an extra 750 added.
The Frolfcenter bump lives.
Hey man, I love you. Bye.
Take the
Okay.
floor from us.
So you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at fish58320. That's my username. Aside from that, do what you want. Enjoy throwing frisbees. Encourage other people to throw frisbees too. That's it. Thank
Nice.
you.
Awesome, buddy. Thanks for coming on. We'll see you soon.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Fish.
Bye.
Dude, I
Ooh,
love
that was
everything Fish talked about tonight. That was awesome.
That was one of the coolest.
Do you want to take a break and I'll do my fun fact?
I'm actually pretty good. So if you want to do your fun fact, I can wait through it. I'm excited about it. Let me.
I mean, I
get
would like
your-
to do my fun fact and then take a break.
Perfect. Why don't we do that then? Let me put you up on.
If the viewers don't know what that means, I kind of got to pee. So
No,
my
we're
fun fact of the week is Fish has a new comment. It's called space jamming or monstaring, where you just whoop your card's ass. This
You steal
mostly
their
happens.
powers.
This mostly happens at big events, where GBO, Bowling Green, where you get a card and you win it, and you just whoop your card's ass. So yeah, it's called space jamming. You space jam your card, or you monstar your card.
Right on, right on. I think, it was the whole idea is you steal their powers. That was the whole.
Yeah,
thing.
that's what I was gonna say. You steal everybody's powers on the cards. Like you took Gerthy's
caught
drive,
better
you
than
took
the best
McTest's putt, and like you took fucking Simon's upshots, and you're just like straight up, you're making everything.
Yeah, you putt better than the best putter. You throw Anheuser's better than the best Anheuser guy. That sort of thing. Yeah. Austin, do we want to do just the tip, or do we want to do some national? We have a little tiny bit of national.
No, I gotta get no. I'm just gonna go ahead and get it out of the way because he's my protege, and
Yes.
I've taught the kid everything he freaking knows, and I'm gonna take credit for it. It's Alden Harris winning a national tour, ladies and gentlemen. I couldn't be more proud of the kid. Like every time I took his $5 at Sequoia, it is earned right there as that.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
right there.
I am really excited. I
video.
like the picture of him and Dickerson hanging out afterward. Like Dickerson looks super pumped for Alden, which was rad.
Oh, because Alden's such a nice fucking guy, dude. He's such a nice kid. I love Alden to death, and I 100% take credit for like making him kind of the golfer he is. Like it took him and I like going out to like a couple of courses, and I was.
Dude.
I mean, for real though, like it was. Dylan was involved too, but like we would take him out to courses, and like we would break out. What?
Our boy, that's right. H1 Pro did footage up there.
Yeah. But yeah. Alden, we would take Alden out to these tournaments, and like we would show him like how you're supposed to break down a course, and evidently, like I mean, the kid's good. He can throw 500 feet on a frozen rope. So like. And once we taught him to like throw what he needed to be throwing,
He figured it out.
He's figuring it out. Yeah. I remember his dad coming up to me and like asking me like, what are you doing on your putting? Like, what does Alden need to do on his putting? And I'm like, he's not thinking about it enough. or like he wasn't thinking about it enough there. And like I'm constantly talking with Jerry about Alden's disc golf game. It's cool too. I mean, it's been fun to watch his progression, and I'm so happy he went skyrocket right away. I'm super proud of his win. I love you, Alden.
Good for that. He's got the sweet ass Sprinter van. He's got the Mercedes van too.
It helps. It helps when you've got family backing you. It's cool.
Yeah, you got a place to stay. You got the van. I mean, I remember him pulling up to Boundary Waters in that Sprinter van. I was like, "Who this? Oh my god, who is this?" And then Alden Harris steps out, and I was like, "Oh, it's Alden."
Yeah, well, he showed up. I book an Airbnb, and he parks his van in my driveway at the Airbnb and doesn't pay anything. I'm like, I can't hate you for it.
Use the shower, man. Use the shower. That's $15 for sure.
Well, I tried to let him use the shower, and he didn't even want to use it. So.
Oh God. Well, he's still young. We'll get that. Here we go. Here in that win, we had Dickerson on the chasing charge. Yes, because Dickerson's final round is always his dirtiest, filthiest round every single time.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one on Ace Run.
Yeah,
didn't you guys get an ace out of that last year?
I think maybe. Yeah, I hope those that should be dropping soon. Those guys are putting up a lot of work. What else? We got a little more national news. Jonesboro's going on. It's not
Alden's in fourth. We'll see who wins.
Yeah, Macbeth and Heimberg tied at the top. Nothing too crazy. Zach Melton in the top 10, which was awesome. That was cool to see. Dickerson is in fifth.
No, actually, there's a bunch of lefties in the top 10. So they're kind of saying it's kind of like a lefties course this year.
Reed is left-handed, right?
Reed for Skura, Zach Melton.
Is Andrew Presnell?
No, there's another lefty up there.
Gilbert? Michael Mayo? Trevor Harbolt?
No.
Wagner? Brown? Carey? Hannum? Humphreys? Klein? I mean, Colling's got Colling's the forehand guy. Well, he does a little forehand.
I probably should just look this up, but it's going to take.
You probably should.
Yeah, there's a couple other there's 3 lefties in the top 10 right now.
Yeah. What else we got for national news?
I just want to say,
what?
Can I give a shout out to everybody?
For sure.
Ace Run Pro, love my wife. Yeah. Thanks for Graham for coming. I literally got off work and jumped on the podcast. I haven't had dinner yet. He was
changing his shirt when he got here.
Yeah, I literally was changing my shirt 10 minutes before the podcast. So I just want to tell everybody, I love you guys. I love y'all for watching. Thanks for watching Total Recall. And I'm just going to go ahead and dip out and have my dinner and go clean some more hurricane houses tomorrow. And I love everybody. I love you guys. Austin, Adam, thank you guys so much. Y'all have a great night.
Later. We've never ended it like this before.
Total Recall.
I don't know what to do.
Do
you want to do anything else?
No, fuck it, dude. Peace. I'm Austin Lytle. Thanks for watching Total Recall, like Cody said.
Yeah, like Total Recall is good. Hey, I'm Adam. Thanks for watching Total